What can I say? It was a hell of a night.
Hey guys, Jacob here. This is my 1.8 Ninja Bag slash Hexo build for the Division. As you can see, I'm running 2-piece Banshee, 2-piece Predator, Ninja Bag, and Barrett's Bulletproof Vest. The guns that this build is based around are the MP7 and the ACR. At the moment, I'm trying to use the House to see how well it performs in this build as well, but at the moment, I like the MP7 a little bit more because, you know, it has a higher rate of fire than the House. But first, I'll go over the primary, which is the normal ACR. I'd like to try to find the enhanced because I like it a little bit more. The damage is 22.4, 760 RPM, and it has a 64 magazine. It's rolled for Competent, Responsive, and Adept. Competent gives you a 10% damage buff for 15 seconds after using a skill. So your damage is going to be going up immediately if you hit a pulse or hit a booster shot, plus the booster. And you have Responsive, which is 10% closer to a target. You do 10% more damage if you're 10 meters to a target. But that's why I chose this one. It has Adept. Using a skill increases your crit hit chance by 7.50%. And this is really nice, this build. If you can try to get Responsive in the last slot, I think that works a lot more than the third slot, or the second slot, my bad. But this is what I got when I rolled. I think it originally had Competent, Prepared, and Adept, and I rerolled Prepared for Responsive. But I'll go over the attachments. Magazine is a extended mag with magazine size of 113%. I have a higher one, but this one is just the one I'm using currently. 3% crit hit chance, 5.60% rate of fire. My Pro Red Dot sight, which I use on most of my weapons, it's the only one I have with max stats on it. 18% crit hit damage, 6% headshot damage, 3% crit hit chance. The muzzle is a large suppressor FDE, 17% crit hit damage, 3% crit hit chance, 6% headshot damage, 47% reduced threat. You could run a large muzzle on this, but I like suppressors more. And I have a large underbarrel, which is the small grip, 19% crit hit damage, 2% accuracy, and 5% reload speed. To go over the secondary I'm using, which is the House, which I usually don't use this build at all. It's just kind of there. It's got daily destructive and card counter, 21.2 base damage, 23% crit hit chance. This is just kind of there for looks. I don't really use it at all. The ACR is the main weapon of this build. To go over the pistol I'm using, which is the same one in all my build videos, it's the Centurion, deadly and harmful, 30.9 base damage. The other pistol I use is the First Wave X45. This is the only one I have. I'm trying to find a better one, but I also have the old Tactical 1911, which I don't really use at all. But the Centurion is my main pistol at the moment. To go over the gear, I guess you could say, I'm running a 1992 Barrett's Bulletproof Vest. It's rolled for 1,153 electronics. This was not the best bulletproof vest for electronics, but originally I was going to trash it, but it had such a decent armor roll on it, and it wasn't even, this was before the ID optimization station, so I decided to keep it because I wanted to have all three. As you can see, I have two below this one that are rolled for stamina and one rolled for firearms. So you can test all three out if you want. But this one has health on kill, and increased kill XP. For the mods I'm running on it are 3% skill haste with 267 firearms rolls on them. To go over the mask, it's 4% crit hit chance, 19 armor, my bad, or firearms, 928 armor, 284 gear score. I don't think this one's optimized at all. I think I just kind of left it. I'm still messing around with Banshee, but the mods I'm running on this is a 234 firearms skill haste mod. For the knee pads, 1583 armor, 1627 firearms, and it's rolled for 8% crit hit damage. You could roll crit hit damage off if you want to have that little bit more tankiness, but this is with my Banshee build, so I'm still kind of messing around to see what works with best, but, it is what it is. To go over the backpack, this is my really shitty Ninja Bag I used to use. It's 1,143 electronics. I scrapped most of them. I think this is the only one I kept, and I didn't realize it was rolled for electronics, and I accidentally scrapped the one rolled for firearms like a dumbass. So this is the one I'm stuck with, and I got a new one, which is stamina, but I chose to go with electronics one on this. Rolled for skill power, burn resistance. I have 2 first aid self-heal mods on this, and I have a 262 stamina mod rolled for health. To go with the gloves, These are my awesome Predator Mark gloves. 291 gear score, 1001 armor, 1355 firearms, and they'll for crit hit chance, crit hit damage, and assault rifle damage. And this was originally for the SMG house build I was using with Predator, but I decided to not use SMGs with this build and use the lightweight M4, the ACR more. So that's what I'm currently doing. But whatever your preference is, you can obviously change it. The holstered 984 armor rolled for all stats, obviously. 1401 firearms, 1397 stamina, and 1342 electronics, and 4% crit hit chance. The mod I'm using on this is a pulse crit hit damage, which I think is the only one I could find. I wish I could find more of them. That way you can get your damage up even higher, since you're already hitting crits with the SMG, and you're already hitting crits with the weapon with the adept on the ACR. But first of all, I'm going to go over the next thing, which is the weapon damage, which it's hitting at 22.4, but the competent adds an additional 10% plus the 22% you're already hitting at. And responsive adds 10% as well. So competent and responsive are really nice together. Plus, if you have adept, you're getting that 7% crit hit chance, which is really nice. To go over the character sheet, you're hitting at 23%, crit hit chance, but a lot of people think that's low for an assault rifle. Well, it's kind of hard to get crit hit chance with assault rifle unless you're running a reflex, sight or the holographic sight. But if you, use the crit hit chance mods on your assault rifle, it works. But I chose to use a pro red dot sight instead of a reflex sight. But you could do whatever you like, whatever fits your preference. But competent plus the damage you're already doing on this is 22.4 as it is. So I guess if you 22.4 plus 10%, that's like 24.6 or something like that. I think that's what it is. And if you add the Barrett's, which is an additional 5%, which is like 25%, plus the 10% out of cover, it's like 28%. I think. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think that's what it is. It's like 28.4% on the damage you're actually hitting with this build. And the crit hit chance goes up as well when you're constantly proccing your pulse. And to go over the abilities, I'm actually currently using a med bag, so I was running this solo, but when you throw your pulse on, you'll notice that it's hitting at 14% crit hit chance and 16% crit hit damage. This probably isn't the best pulse, but it works. And I think the Barrett's just finally went back to normal, so now it's hitting at 16% crit hit chance and 18% damage, which is really nice. But the reason why it was a higher is because if you have a pulse, on cooldown, it kind of changes it. But that's just how it is. The cooldown is 38% since I'm running a few skill haste mods. It was like 43% or something, but those few mods just changed it. But it is what it is. To go over the talents, I'm running usually triage, critical save, strike back, and I have one is none, but I've changed it up a little bit. Instead of triage, I'm running on the move, but I usually use triage when I'm in a group, but today I was running solo, so I decided to throw on the move and see how well it works with this build. But that's really about it, guys, for the build. If you have any questions or have anything to suggest how to make this build better, please let me know in the comment section below.